Welcome to the YouTube interview, the effects of the COVID-19 virus on the arts and beyond. My name is Brian Murphy. I have a special guest today who is from Maribor, I'm saying this right, Maribor, Slovenia. Is that how you say it? Okay.
That's right.
That's
Well, I'm
excellent.
originally from New Zealand, but
Yes, this is
currently live in Slovenia.
Perfect. And this is Demetrius King. Hi, Demetrius.
Hi, Brian. Long time no see.
Yeah, long time no see. So you are a self-employed web developer. And I feel like this is a pertinent subject right now because people are going to probably venture into this more than ever before. So
Right.
talk to me about maybe your process of becoming a web developer and talk to me how it's changed a little bit since you started becoming a web developer.
Well, before I was a dancer, I was very much into computer science. So my whole life I've always had an interest in it. So I've been developing since actually I was about 9 or 10 years old with basic programs. Then I had a whole career as a dancer. And then I started looking at things that I could do after my career ended, which was 5 years ago. I totally stopped dancing. So I was already having remote work for companies all around the world. But basically, it's all self-taught. Look things up online. What's your area of interest? Do courses, and then try to find a specialization that there's a market for. You know, I right now, for example, do online shops, which is quite handy right now because all shops in Europe are basically closed. So I've got a lot of demand at the moment for, can you please get my stuff online? Because I have no sales whatsoever. And I've had like 10 inquiries, but I just can't take it because I already have existing clients and they're already asking to pump up their servers and put different messages and different functionalities on their websites. So it's a very busy time for me at the moment because of this whole COVID situation.
So,
but getting back to the question, how did I get into it? I was already into it, you know, since I was a kid. So it was something I was interested in. So I thought maybe I can make some money. I built a website for a friend, then another friend, mostly for dancers who wanted to, you know, self-promote and do gig work. And so I started off doing about 5 or 10 websites for them. And then I did an agency, and then I did a few shops, and then I got more shops. And it's basically through the process of having to do something and then learning the skill while kind of getting paid to do it, in a sense.
interesting.
So I did go to school. Also to study and get a degree. But all of that information that I learned at school is now totally irrelevant. So it's mostly on the job kind of learning and kind of teaching yourself what are the cutting edge technologies at the moment.
Well, Demetrius,
I don't know if I really answered your question.
Oh, you did. And I think that what you said a couple of things here. One, these businesses are calling you now. Is this
well, they always are, but even more so.
Is this going to be the new way now? Is this, when this is all over, are they going to be hesitant to go back to the old way?
I think that it's going to make them more aware of how important it is to have that extra stream of revenue. And so, you know, literally businesses are making decisions whether or not they should stay open at the moment. So it's really important that they get something up. If it's expanding their online inventory, or putting all of their products online as opposed to what they have at the moment, or even just starting a website at all. So I think anyway, having an online presence is important.
Well,
but even now it's magnifying it, obviously.
Well, you know, some of the audience is going to be listening to this are going to be dancers and studio owners.
Yep.
And a lot of these owners and dancers are going to be making these videos. and they gonna get this pile of them. What do you do with them all? Number one, and after this all over, do you suggest to put it on a website, or do you just say just put it on YouTube? How would you? What kind of suggestions would you give to these owners and dancers who are doing all this work now?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that you can do to kind of sell yourself as an artist online. You could start developing a social media following by putting some of your content on YouTube, and then offering then lessons or other content which is paid. So there are services like Patreon is where you get enough of a following online on YouTube. You get a lot of YouTube followers, you get a lot of subscribers because of your content. For example, I'm a ballet teacher, I'm a choreographer, I'm a modern dance teacher, I'm a yoga instructor, all of these things that are related to what we did, and which a lot of people have started to do, right? Pilates, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's take the example of Pilates. You could do private lessons. My daughter, private lessons on, individual classes, for example, online, or you could start off by developing your brand by having a YouTube channel, and then getting followers. It's all about followers. And then once you get the followers, your follower number really high, then you can start monetizing your content.
So
be that with individual lessons or be that Patreon or paid subscription stuff.
When you make these videos and you put them out in the social media, it takes time and determination, doesn't it? It doesn't take, it's not an over.
Yeah, but that becomes your job. I mean, especially right now, I mean, you got nothing else to do, right?
Correct.
You're not going to that gig anymore.
But
that show has been canceled. That workshop for 1,000 kids is no longer happening. So
Demetrius,
get in front of the camera and do something.
I agree. But listen to this. So let's say there's 50 dancers in a company, 45 of them are making all videos, 45, and then half of those dancers are going to be websites. So what is, I think this new normal, there's a new normal happening here. Your work becomes even more valuable. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's for sure. I mean, it is. There is a shortage of developers and web engineers and throughout worldwide right now before all of this. And now it's, obviously it's exploding. So, it is kind of a good thing for me and others in my industry, but it's, you can't say that a pandemic is good, but I think that it's the positive that you can take out of it is being aware of, hey, something could happen. I need to protect myself. Let's invest in a website. Let's invest in another digital-based revenue stream. Start thinking about that. Start putting together ideas, be it selling products online, maybe, because that's what I do. I basically help retailers or B2B businesses. But just having some kind of web presence, even if it's just a website about yourself, about the classes that you teach, where you teach, when, testimonials. These are just important. They're just like the new business card now. Yes. Oh, so where can I find you online? That's the question. Oh, what's your website? This is like, can I have your business card? Or what's your phone number? Back in the old days, back in the 90s, it was giving people business cards. Now it's what's your Twitter handle? What's your Instagram handle?
And
so this is important anyway.
That's right. There's platforms too out there that they're not expensive. The fact you can have free, you can get the basic of these platforms. There's different ones that you can go to. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And
that's right.
You can create that as a business card.
You don't have to spend any money, really. I mean, you have to just be consistent in putting good content. That's the most important thing. Okay, you can't be, looking like a troll or talking negatively. You have to sell yourself a little bit, just like in real life. But as long as you're having something interesting that people want to hear, or do or follow along or learn, like dancing, like Pilates, like yoga, uh, about living life, about whatever. I mean, there's literally people who just talk about what they did in their day. They have 2 million followers, and
Yes.
they're no one. They're just maybe have a pretty face. They go shopping, and they're just consistent. You know, they're
And you know,
consistent and they're
also,
honest.
and they're honest, consistent and honest. And I
Can't
think,
be fake on the.
well, you
It's
can't,
so
and
easy
people
to see
know, and
through.
people know that. People
Right.
know if you are. That's very
Right.
true.
Exactly.
They
You can
know.
smell it. You know.
They can. It may not. It takes a while, but they'll know it sooner or later. So
Yep.
just to finish this up here, the thing I'm getting out of this here is that just taking the effort to just to almost put yourself in this arena, in this place, and to don't have to spend a lot of
Yeah.
money. Just who are you in this space? The other thing is not to be overwhelmed by it.
Yeah.
Even if everybody does it, there's room for you. Everybody's doing it, but there's still
Yeah.
room for us to be part of it.
Yeah.
You know, and
Definitely.
yeah. So, Demetrius, this is really valuable to hear from my point of view,
Thanks.
and for anybody else who's listening to this. I mean, we need to feel encouraged at this point,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and depends on where you are in the world. You want to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, well, you're going to take it to what it's worth. But the bottom line is, who are you as a person? This is an opportunity to sell yourself, represent yourself in this arena.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're being a performing artist, being in the arts, even the service industry, whatever industry you are, you have to have some kind of a branding, and that branding also relies on your face and your personality. And
Mhm.
you know, just as you go into a meeting one on one, you charm the guy, you have a meeting, you shake the hand. It's like that, except in front of a camera, and people will tune in if you're genuine and if you are honest with your content and you have something interesting to say, I think.
You know, Demetrius, we're going to finish on that note. I really appreciate your time. I do, and it was really good to see you too. Of course, we have a long history, so it's been a long time. But I want to
Many,
reconnect
many
again.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been at least 10 since 2000, almost 20 years. Yeah,
2000, yeah, 20
yeah,
years
almost
probably.
20 years or something like that. Something like that. But either
Yeah.
way, I do want to reconnect again because
Yeah.
I feel
Do it.
that when this goes out, people are going to listen to it, and then 6 months from now, people are going to have a little different outlook on life, I think. And I think we should come back and do this again. And then just have a
Yeah.
discussion about represent yourself, be positive or whatever, be you, be who you are. And people will just look at you and say, or whatever it is that you want to represent. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we're all people watchers and we love to know other people because we're stuck with ourselves and a few people that in our circles. So that's why social media is so interesting. It's engaging to see a little insight into what is Brian doing there? What is that room he's in? What is his day like? That's interesting to people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's a dancer. What
Yes.
that's interesting. And
Yes.
that's, you know, you can make a reality show about that. Just you and what you do in a day.
And if you're consistent,
Right there.
you could do exactly there, right there. All right, my friend. It's really good to see you. Peace
Okay.
out. Okay. Take care. All right. Appreciate
Good
it.
to see you too.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Ciao.